where we're going to get underway with some more lethality and ridiculous action.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it going. We've got to cast Brick and Waz aside, and the show must continue now, as I believe we've got Sib and Effortless that are going to be before us. Both of these guys have been playing at a pretty decent level so far in the QPL. Very curious who's going to be getting those points, and whether it's going to be an 8-pointer, which has been the nature of the entire day, or if we're going to get our first kind of mix-up in the series, which I think is more possible, but I think it's now time that I stop predicting that it will be, because they've all been 3-0.
It never goes well.
Yeah, it doesn't. My prediction's just, yeah.
It's rough, but let's delve deeper into one man that everyone's going to have their eyes on, of course, Sib, and see how he is going to fare up going down today versus Effortless. Now, Sib, why don't you give me one of those ridiculous intros that you do, Zoo?
He's raw. Sib, he's been a rising challenger in North America. He's been building up his experience, shows some good fundamentals, has a decent champion pool, but is still very much trying to define himself within the scene. Mechanical skills not bad at all, somewhat creative, but still looking to, I think, perfect his style.
Well, here's the thing about Sib. It's a 3-letter name. You know what else is a 3-letter word? Pan. And that is 1 letter away from pain, which is what he delivers.
What just happened?
Exactly. I'll let that sink in. Enjoy that one.
I think I just had an aneurysm there.
That was Effortless for me.
Okay.
Someone else that,
God.
of course, is going to be facing off Effortless,
Let's
the man
this.
that makes it look oh so simple for himself, as he is incredibly talented. What can you tell me about Effortless?
Napoleon Fragapart. Need I say more? This guy, being a big team player, historically I think, diving more and more into duel as Quake Champions has been progressing against someone with some solid mechanical skill, but I think occasionally suffers from brick syndrome. But I think he's a level up. He's raising his theoretical game, and he's actually been improving really positively as the weeks have been going on and as Quake Champions have been going on.
Well, there you have it. Both of the two boys that are going to be facing it off, of course, are warriors that will be heading into the arena in this one. Who are you excited to see actually going down here before we get into anything
I don't get
deep?
to see them both, actually. I was really impressed when I last casted Sib when he did great against Dahang. I want to see if that wasn't just a magical day, if he's going to be able to continue and show us some fantastic players, or I'm excited to see if Effortless is able to raise his game as well, because he's also been showing not to be a numpty whatsoever.
Yeah. Is this more one where you feel like this will be decided a little bit towards the vetoes, or?
They'll definitely help.
Yeah.
But I think even without the vetoes, actually I'm really struggling to come to a prediction at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Effortless should be, but I feel more impressed with Sib recently.
I think we do have those vetoes. Let's have a look at the picks and bans to see if that does sway you one way or another.
Let's take a look. Oh, this is a really colourful mix of champions that we're getting at the moment. So we've got Awoken, which is Effortless's pick. We've got a Doom versus a Sorlag, 2 mobile champions. Obviously, not too many champions are going to out-mobility a Sorlag. Molten, we've got more CPM movement from Sib. Anarchy's a risky pick. It is always a risky pick. You've got to find a way to make him work, and that's easier said than done. Galena is super standard, but solid pick, I think. And then Athena versus Strog. I mean, it's going to get fairly spicy down when we get to Ruins. This is really difficult to actually tell what's going to happen. For Sib, is going to rely on what's his style with the first two champions. Actually, of all of his champions, because he's got some very interesting champions across the board. And for Effortless, is can he contain the chaos that those champions can bring?
It's curious. I mean, off the back of it now, just from seeing which champions are actually going to be facing off once we get into this, I am going to give it to Sib. I feel like from what we've seen of him in the past, very mechanically sound player. Like, when he's on form, he really is on form, and you can see him just start to dominate. So I feel like that's my initial investment, based off the champions we've seen as well. I feel like he could actually run away with this.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like potentially here we could see this be more in the region of 2-1. Probably not a 3-0. I think this is going to be the first 2-1 of the day, honestly.
I think it's going to be Effortless.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think Effortless will take this. But I think this is going to be really close, and I think there's going to be some very defining features in this series to, be it one way or another.
Well, we're going to be butting heads, but so will be Sib and Effortless. As we delve into the action, who is going to come out on top and be the master of murder? Let's find out.
Been on board with Sib, who's trying to keep Effortless away. Does a great job of that. There's the light armor, but that's a no-no for Effortless at the moment. And Sib, how aggressive is he going to be towards that heavy? Very is the answer. He's just going to go up the bounce pad to secure himself the kill. Really nice plays from Sib off the beginning. How is he going to be able to continue this positive spree?
It's a good start. It's definitely a nice lead to play with. He also has the high ground, obviously a nice amount of map control from this position. You've got the armor right there for you if you want to be able to pick it up as he gets the early tag off as well. Knows the location that Effortless is playing from. Trying to predict him doing some cheeky shenanigans, but instead, he's just going all in. This is going to be a bit of fisticuffs here. Zoot, the lightning gun, should get the kill, but he loses out. Effortless overthrows him.
You will get mad from that because Effortless just launched himself up at the connector through the light armor area, and I just think Sib just did not consider that as one of the options.
Honestly, if you're Sib right now, you are fuming.
Yeah, I think so. Sib's got to contain himself, though. It's early in the series, early in the map. Nice little hops up that we're getting from Effortless to get himself some mega health control. Rocket's not terrible, but Effortless is securing control decently.
Yeah, the stack's getting bigger and bigger as well as he found the Mega. He's got full armor to play with. That's going to be the heavy secured. So he's really going to be living the luscious life right now. Switches out to the lightning gun as well to carry on delivering the pain train, and it pulls into the station.
Tries to get a little cute rocket jump going, but it's a very weird place to rocket jump because you'd be vulnerable off the exit of the teleporter and you can get caught out off the wrong angles. Oh, the rocket was almost golden, but unfortunately was not enough, and Sib will get himself back on the board to hopefully recover from some of the things that have been happening to him.
He still seems composed. He does have the height advantage as well, as he's trying to use it to give himself a good lead, spamming down the rockets from above, but the Hellion salvo will not actually connect onto Effortless. Oh, it's a nice predictive rocket, though, on the corner, as he tries to reposition, expecting Effortless to try and worm his way around back behind him, instead playing the slower style. Could throw him off. He does have the Sorlag split ready to try and devour, though, and he will finally get the kill coming through.
He lands quickly, you see. I mean, he's expecting, okay, Effortless made this play before, it's caught me off guard, let's make sure I don't fall for it again. Really well handled there from Sib, and it's going to earn himself a lead. Only a small lead, as Sib has to break away from this. Well, backwards strafe, wants to keep eyes on the back of his head, expecting Effortless to sustain a push.
Ooh, railguns primed and ready, both of them are fairly low. Sib much worse for wear, though. As he leaves himself exposed and potentially open to the early kill. Does at least have the spit back up so he can try and use that to deny the area of effect / map control, shooting it straight through the portal. But it isn't going to be a nice opener for him just yet. Oh, the rail's good though.
Not bad at all. Almost buying himself another one.
Wow.
Okay, great shot. He still needs another though, unless he can continue getting some armors. He needs to find a way to challenge onto a major item, and he's giving them up for free. So all the work that he's doing with the railgun is, well, being undone. Totally.
Effortless is starting to fall back into a much more dominant position. He did get the Mega, that's slowly going to be burning down, but it's still got an awful lot to get through before that becomes a bit of a hindrance towards his playstyle. Sib instead conceding the high ground control that he had. Going to be backing off and trying to go for the smart play, although Effortless pre-firing on the angle, suspected him to be crouched, hidden away there. Does an awful lot of damage off with the LG and does secure another kill. That ties things up now. Zook's free to free, but this could quickly change. Effortless on the re-aggression. Both of them left basically neck and neck in terms of their stack.
It's been very nice from Effortless. He's aggressing absolutely when he should. When he knows he's got Sib weak and on the ropes, he's finishing the job. That's something that a lot of players find very, very difficult, is closing out those opportunities.
Oh, Sib!
LG's a bit off there. Oh, that should have been a kill. He gets him on the tightest of angles. And that is Effortless in the lead.
Yeah, you could tell. It was like climbing a greasy pole there. Eventually his hands were going to slip off, and he did at the end. Effortless still continuing to forwardly face and fight with all of his might. Gets another frag picked up. That's going to put him now on a 5-3 scoreline as we hit the 5-minute mark. Can he make it 6 and do some more damage? Barely missing the rail, but fully committing to this. The Rocket's in close quarters combat, although it looks like he's going to go down the Sorlag spit.
He messed up that fight a lot right there. I think he still had the weapons available to him. He might have run out of ammunition on the LG, but he overcommitted to it. And when he went in, it's like, well, I've got to finish perfectly, otherwise, I mean, look at the amount of map control that I can start losing. Mega's going to go over to Sib. Oh, is it? Sib hasn't gone there yet. He's just looking to punish on this heavy and then just switches against Rail at the wrong moment.
Ooh. That's a near miss. That's unfortunate. I mean, but at least Sib, he's got himself in a good position here, Zoo. He has the Mega to play with, attempting to scavenge a little bit more as well as he roams his way around. Good angle to set up for with the rail, as he lands that one to do a fair bit of damage. That's the extra light armor as well, thrown straight into his backpack. Instantly negated off of the full frontal assault there from Effortless, though. He's so low. He could be taken down fairly easy here, especially if you've got the Sorlag Spit helping you out.
He's investing... I'm not sure what I think about rocket jumping when you're out of the lead like that, but you really need to cherish every bit of health and armor that you have. It's something that you'll see Wenger do, but usually he's a bit more confident. He's got that overstack going for himself. You probably use between 42 and 48 points of health / armor when you do those hard rocket jumps. That's very valuable in a fight.
I feel like fundamentally, though, it's kind of just one of the asterisks of Sib's playstyle. That's what I meant about the fact that he's so mechanically sound. Like, movement seems to be his sit.
He does like it. He enjoys it.
Yeah. Ooh, straight back in. The Sorlag Spit going to be coming through. Just get the tag off. A bit of a boop there on the rocket towards the end of that one.
He wants these rails to land. They're not hitting as much as they were earlier. It was sweeter before.
Ooh, he's got good movement straight into this. He's going to go headstrong in, try and get the headbutt off back onto Effortless. He's low, though. Needs to try and take his time to resituate himself and get into a better position. Lightning gun in hand.
Nice.
It's a quick switch on the rail.
That's good.
Gets the tag off to the back suit, and it's not looking too bad. If you can at least equalize this, this could be a whole different game on our hands. A rapid quick switch there, but he's being just lightning to pieces.
Great double jump that we just had from Effortless. Finding that extra bit of damage, looking to see if there's a return from Sib. Doesn't want to be patient to wait too long. Instead gets his high ground connector. And now is beautifully set up for Mega Health. And unfortunately that Acid Spit's not going to do a whole lot. Effortless knows he's nearby. That rocket is way off the mark. That one definitely isn't. But he's all out of rockets now. It's got to be head-on LG versus LG. Ooh. Sib switches away. Rail misses. Both players will walk away with their lives in their hands, but only just.
This is rough. Although he's leaving himself in a worse position the longer this goes on for. If he can get the kill here, however, it might have been a different storyline. He would have been able to bring it back up to a 5-6. He would have had the advantage as well going forward and still had 2 minutes of time. Instead, not finding the kill now means Zoot, he doesn't have that much left. 1 minute and 45 seconds. He's got to resituate himself. He's giving Effortless time to not only scavenge weaponry, but also apparently land some beautiful rail shots to really make Sib a bit more supple.
Oh my god, Sib was so fast with that. I was thinking Effortless, you've got to be quick to react if he's around the corner, because that's the angle you pre-fire for, basically. And is this mistake going to cost him with 1 minute and 15 left?
That's a big man banger from Sib. Although, things could be awful for him. He's so low. He still gets the kill, though. And he was right on top of the Mega. That's health back up to full already. He's grabbed himself the light shields to play with, and there's only 1 minute left. This one is tied up, but he's struggling in the initial confrontation here, Zoot.
Oh my god, oh, the rocket finds him in time. Effortless been making some mistakes previously to give up a couple of kills. But maybe he's doing enough now to keep it in his hands. Rocket push just there. The ass is going to be there. It's still seconds away for that Mega Health to spawn. Effortless is just... he hadn't earned the Mega Health yet. He had to back the hell away. You got plenty of ways that you can kill the clock, and that was not one of them.
It's slipping away from him here. However, luckily for now, there's 30 seconds of play left to work with, and both of them are tied up. If it goes to sudden death, it could be a whole different storyline. At this point, though, it is going to be the kill in the last few seconds for Effortless. This now forces Sib to go essentially into a frenzy. It has to be a bloodlust for him. If he can equalize the scoreline, there's a chance he can still take the map. Instead, though, it looks like there's a chance to potentially, this could be the shutdown from Effortless and him walking away as the victor. Sib is fast on his tail, but he's only got 5 seconds. He will not find him. Effortless looks like he's going to claim it.
Wow, and he sticks around for the last rail as well. Effortless taking down the map. It was sketchy at the end.
Yeah.
But he does close it out ultimately. I want a quick look at the stats. 4.4k to 4.2. Essentially Effortless with some great control overall. Control is not as important necessarily of Sorlag, but it does allow you to steamroll a bit harder. But you've got such a nice spawning stack anyway that you can make things work. Very, very close game. and I thought that Effortless had actually thrown it right at the end, but he made this kamikaze play, on the heavy armor, where you just did not expect Effortless to go in with the LG at that stage, and I think Sib was just scampering to find a weapon that was going to be right in that situation.
He needed anything that he could find, and it just didn't work out at all. It's rough, though. Really, just such a close affair between both of them over the entire 10 minutes. You know, that very much could have been a sudden death affair, or could have been the alternative of Sib walking away as the champion. Instead, though, Effortless shutting it down in the last few minutes, the last few seconds of the game, really, and barely being able to close that one out. If this is the way the rest of the series is going to go, we are strapped in for a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. And it very well could do. In fact, I think these guys are very close in skill, and I'm super curious to see who at the end of this season is going to be ahead of each other, because I feel like they're going to be tooth and nail throughout the entire season.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because some of the shots that they were landing were just so ridiculous in terms of just how lethal they were. You know, we saw a good showing between both.
That was awesome from Effortless. I love how he does the double jump. Sorry to interrupt you. The sustained double jump just at the end, like fade away. And people never seem to expect that extra lightning gun damage that you get. Nyx does it sometimes, where she just does a late wall jump and just gets that last rail just as you think that she's faded out of there. I think the double jump and wall jump is like just super fun mechanics, where if you are a damage dealer and you like to catch your opponent by surprise, it's just pure fun.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
And definitely a clear display of that as well throughout that matchup so far. Map 1 being closed down, almost a win taken away by Sib, but it was scraped from underneath him in the end. Effortless, looking good. Obviously, I did go for the 2-1 prediction. That could be the one of the two.
It's not done yet.
You never know. You never know.
It's not done. I think both players want some points, but I don't think they're going to be discussing with each other that how the arrangement's going to pan out. They want as many as they possibly can get, because they want to escape the bottom side. They want to do what Tox did, basically, and get themselves nice healthily into sort of a center pool of players, and at least feel the next couple of weeks that even though they have to work very hard, that they'll have that brief feeling of space and maybe not as much pressure. But I really hope that they pressure themselves all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds really. I hope they induce anxiety and that much pressure that they apply to themselves. I don't.
Yeah,
but.
It's like Dragon Ball Z, right? You know, if you're in the hyperbolic time chamber, so you've got the increased gravity, so you're constantly under that level of stress. You're doing way more weightlifting than you initially would do, so that when you then get into a fight, you're way stronger than you would be.
I mean, I think it can work like that.
Basically.
I think so. If you apply that much pressure of yourself throughout your training, then so why not?
If Sib played an awful lot of Instagib with 10-gram dumbbell on his wrist, technically, he would eventually become the best player in the world. I understand.
I think we need to iron out these theories.
We'll do the theory
I think you're on the way.
crafting,
I think you're definitely finding some important information.
We'll sell some mouse hand weights. It'll be beautiful.
Well, I really want to set up some gaming gloves.
Yeah?
You know? Because it gets cold in winter, right?
It does.
I had those problems a lot when I was young. When I was aspiring to be that competitive.
Be a pro gamer.
But I just decided to be a commentator, so...
It happens to the best of us. But the thing is, I tell you who is warmed up and doesn't have cold hands. Both of these two boys on the server right now. 40 seconds in, only a small transfer of damage, but that is a bigger, hefty chunk. A Sib, he could fall short here, and the opener on this one tries to get the drop on Effortless. The movement was tasty, but unfortunately, he isn't going to be giving us the glory on that one. Effortless opens it up.
I was just really curious what was Sib's next move going to be when he got in that corner.
Confusing.
I think a rocket jump would have actually be really sick. And you can rocket jump around and into the center part of the map from there. You can do some really insane stuff, but Sib didn't go for it on that occasion. And I am waiting for someone to make that play with an Athena, with Sorlag or Anarchy to get around the outskirts and make like a big jump onto the Mega Health or escape the other way around. So it's 100% easier to do from center map to the Mega though. Ooh. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that was a bit of a brawl between both of them, though, to kick this one off. Sib goes for the injection, going to start breezing his way around as well.
What was that? What was that totem position that we just saw?
Was that just right in the open on top of the...
It's on top of a candle, I think. Did you see that?
I didn't quite spot it.
It's doing some like double takes.
Is this some elaborate meme?
I don't think so. I've never seen that one before, but I like it. Effortless is going to lock down a frag here. He's still got 2 totems. He's got another one ready to put up whenever he fancies, and he's going to go for the... I see Base using that one quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. That's
and
nice.
I think it's popular. I think Hron uses it. There's a whole bunch of them. But that totem's gone now. It's a shame. I wonder if it works on any other doorways as well. Which it surely will.
We might get to see some of that. Top tier Galena plays coming through potentially, although it's going to need to be his weapon skills that give him the edge on this one. Is he going to be as sharp as a blade? Oh, as he tries to get into the action, of course he will. The lightning just burning straight through Sib in a matter of seconds as he'll leave them tased out on the ground.
He's a ninja there. I do not know how he managed to navigate all of that, but that was perfect from Effortless.
So that's the crazy part, is right now you'd be looking towards Sib to really provide us with the insane movement-based plays, but Effortless is the one that's actually starting to pull some of them out.
Yeah, he's got his head screwed on when it comes to this. Oh, the injection saves Sib for a moment. It looked so close to being done. These totems are in such cheeky places that now Effortless has given himself a sort of a free Mega health in his backpack. Mega was just taken though by Sib, but it's not enough. LG from Effortless has been super, super solid.
Yeah, the tracking he's actually been displaying right now is really nice. Just non-stop landing the good majority of each and every one. Oh, Sib! You naughty man!
I mean, that was asking a bit much there. I think calculating the amount of stack is like, I'll get off one pummel and then, alright, what's my follow-up?
But if it would have worked, then, you know.
Sib did find one of those totems, by the way, which is really good to do. I just wonder if he knows that the other one's a possibility, because Effortless is really pulling out all the stops of Galena to try and get these points down. I'm super curious how much time these players actually spend theory crafting over, okay, where can I put X and Y totem, good spots for turrets, and so on.
There must be a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can make anything work for yourself in Quake.
Oh, yeah.
So good rails from Sib.
Gets the Mega just as it comes back through. 10 seconds on the wait for the totem at least. He does have a nice amount of ammunition across the board to work with getting into this one. We're coming up to the 5-minute mark though, and once again they go back in for the combat. Does drop the totem to try and go for more of a defensive play. It's a bit of a blocking technique. Rail in the air,
perfect.
Straight rips his way through Sib as he crushes him under the sheer weight of that round.
Oh my god, and again, he's just got no armor to his name, so just drilled down with the lightning gun. Effortless hears him on the side, knows that Mega health will be clean, but then Sib's running into him and he's like, okay, I'm super glad I didn't go down to Mega because Sib is kind of throwing himself at me at the moment.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get a little bit ugly as well for Sib. Ooh, as he's trying to really outplay him on the back of the movement here now. That was such an interesting brawl between them both that last like 10 seconds was such a weird scrap between them both.
Yeah, Sib went around the other teleporter at the top, which is slightly dangerous to do, but it kind of worked for him. Sib is... I don't know what Sib's doing.
He's just giving it. He's absolutely giving it.
He's decided to go defrag, and he's just enjoying the poetry of movement. And you like poetry, so you should enjoy what he's doing.
It's beautiful. It really has given me what I wanted out of this. The aggressive totem placement, though, followed up by the fact that he is just letting it rip with the lightning gun, will secure him another kill. As he really is just bombarding down on Sib right now.
A haiku of movement by Sib Raw. I don't actually know his full name, so...
Indubitably. What is it? Raw's a pretty strong name.
Raw?
Raw.
I think it's a great name. I love that.
That is pretty strong. Like, as names go, you know, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good rail.
I think Sib feels defeated in this map. I'll be honest, he's making a lot of moves that you just wouldn't make if you're really trying to be, you know, pedal to the metal, pressuring your opponent, forcing them to create strong reads on you and so on. Sib is just getting in his face and dying. And invoking the power of Brick, well.
He's rubbed the Brick idol
Yes.
to activate the magic of Brick that he found in the Temple of Brick in the Forest of Brick.
Yes. And we know already that Brick's a magician, so...
The magician. Ooh, Effortless trying to do some magic level plays right now, though, as he makes Sib disappear.
I think Effortless has also now realised what Sib's doing and is trying to match him.
Oh!
And he's getting to stall. Like, this is where you can kind of let go a little bit. He had it for maybe the last, like... Actually, no, our last map was super close, so he didn't have any time to do that. Yeah. I was thinking of Waz and Brick. But now he gets to unleash. He gets to have a bit of Waz fun.
See, what's crazy as well is you can see
Oh my
Effortless
God.
with the fact that, like, compared to the average player we've been witnessing over the course of the day, they play on like way lower senses compared to the sense that he is actually rocking. You can see how fast his movement is on his actual mouse, but he's so deadly accurate with it. If you're one of those players that can play on like a super high sense, but control it to a ridiculous level, it's a weird advantage that you find really puts you into a ridiculous position.
I do kind of wish that Sib didn't give up, because it felt like he had given up by the time it was 6-1.
Yeah.
With a champion like Anarchy, if you get into control and you manage to get a couple of frags where you keep yourself at above full natural by the end of them, then you're just on a rampage then. You can find them off the spawn, you can do all kinds of damage. So, yeah, I'd like Sib to maybe contain himself. But the problem is, he stopped containing himself at a critical moment where he can still tie up the series.
You never know. I mean, if he's letting things slide, maybe this is one where he's going to reserve his energy into the third map. That could be the only mindset. I don't know.
Why go for... I mean, you're being very fair and nice.
I'm trying to give him something,
yeah.
But I understand your point. It's rough, essentially.
It is. I mean, these are very important games as well for Sib. He needs to make sure that he can keep himself... He's not in relegation zone at the moment, or territory, but he needs to make sure he keeps himself away from there.
That's a wall.
And Effortless is gonna be, I'm gonna farm some frags and get my stats up. Why the hell not? He's gonna be happy already. Like, he feels like he's got such a psychological advantage over Sib, especially going into map 3.
Yeah.
Because Sib's kind of buckled, like, way too easy. I know there was a couple of instances in Awoken which was slightly tilting at the beginning, but Sib still gave us a great map.
See, that's the crazy thing as well, is that Quake actually is such a mental game. On the sense of like how easily you can affect your opponent if you're like, think of the Wenger level plays that we saw. If that's happening to you on the regular and you're just like, how am I losing to this? How am I dying to these sort of plays?
Yeah.
It builds up on you.
I don't know, Sib does pressure himself a lot. And he is hard on himself, and I think maybe even too hard sometimes, where he needs to just, you know, roll with the bad times within the map itself. And that allows you to make those epic, memorable comebacks where maybe you do go down by 10 frags, but you're still able to hold on and persevere and do something insane that everybody remembers from minutes 8 to 10. And Sib's just not giving himself a chance. It's starting to look like Garpy versus Sparty in week 1. Where I think Garpy broke the 30 mark, but you know, Effortless isn't quite there. Not a million miles from it.
The thing is, you know, you got to roll with the punches. You got to cross every river as you come to it. In your case, not every bridge.
Rivers are fine.
Got to ford the river, but it looks like Effortless is going forward as the victor here, as he does take the second map there, really living up to his name, as it is Effortless as always, as he locks that one down 20-1.
0 heavies for Sib, I just noticed.
Yeah.
0. I think he had 4 mega health overall. Effortless just... He knew by the halfway mark that Sib had basically called it quits at that stage.
It was like, what, 6 minutes 20, 6 minutes 30 maybe, where it just looked like he was kind of like,
I mean, I don't even know if it got to that point, honestly. I think even earlier. And I think, but even so, Effortless never took his foot off the gas pedal. He was always, right, I'm going to make sure that the control's still mine. I'm going to make sure that I punish Sib for all of these moves. Even if he already feels defeated, I'm going to make him feel even more defeated. And I think that's giving Effortless a huge advantage going into the next map. That, I mean, somehow the prediction's going in my side. I don't know how this has happened. I'm not trying to,
It's a paradigm shift that we've not seen before.
Quite. But, I definitely could have seen yours coming right. But, yeah, Sib, let's go. He's got to hope to hold on again. Grab it in map 3. Make sure he gets some points, because all of those points are so valuable.
What's rough is I feel like, obviously, off the back of what we just witnessed now from map 2, there's a whole nother timeline out there where if Sib actually took map 1 and it went into that position rather than obviously it slipping away the last few seconds, maybe map 2 would have been a whole different sort of universe here. But instead, what we've got in reality is Effortless just playing absolutely sickening here on the second map, so much so that he seemed to just be able to break his way through any defenses that Sib had. Going into map 3, it looks like Effortless really should be able to close this down and walk away with another 3-0 for the night.
I mean, we'll find out if I'm wrong. I believe we've got Blood Covenant. I think we've got Athena versus Strog and Pika.
We do, yeah.
That's going to be really interesting. But, I mean, just to go on this map again, I said at the beginning, Anarchy is a very tricky one to get right. I think Sib didn't even give him a chance to get right. But because you can collect those +1 HPs as you're using your ability. So even if you lose out on a couple of frags at the beginning, just keep on grinding that ability as often as possible. You can see yourself getting stronger and stronger. It's not amazingly noticeable, but it gives you those tiny little edges when you're getting into combat. You can survive that, not extra direct, but direct rocket and a bit of splash. And that helps to no end.
It gives you something to work with, right? It's better than nothing. But unfortunately, we didn't really even get a chance to see that come through. It just seemed like
It didn't at all.
Sib just wasn't in it in map 2. Map 3, it could potentially be a whole different storyline, right?
Yeah, I mean, Athena's a great champion on this map. We're still seeing, we're learning and understanding what Strog and Pika's going to be offering us in the QPL now with these huge recent changes. I expect to see Strog and Pika used more and more, and I know Dahang's already said that he wants to remaster Strog in its entirety. He was the person who brought Strog originally to the forefront of competitive Quake champions, and now I think he's looking to be the one to champion that champion, so to speak.
But just really make it his boon and show what he can do with it.
Completely.
Potentially we'll get some of that. Obviously, I think this is the third pick we've seen over the course of today, with 2 in EU and CIS.
I believe so. It might be second or third. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're seeing actually
we've seen some.
much more. Yeah.
Definitely.
Which isn't too bad. 3 out of the available, sort of five games we've had over the course of today.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Actually, six now. But yeah,
Indeed.
that's still a good average really to actually see him coming into the meta.
Yeah, and not everyone's going to want to play Strog and Pika, but for those who have those gifts of movement on crouch sliding, they're definitely going to be interested, and all their opponents are going to be looking out for that.
Well, look out for this as we are back into the high-octane action. Sib versus Effortless is already underway, and Sib is gone 10 seconds in, and he has been Stroganed out of here.
Oh no! The Sib's so weak, and Effortless has got the LG. Dies twice in the first 20 seconds.
Job done.
Yeah, something need doing. And Sib needs to just step it up a bit. Oh my god, that rocket was really, really close. He still cleans up the frag anyway.
Oh, tries to get the rail down. Death from above. This is basically a frag over the course of every 10 seconds so far for Effortless. That average is going to start to drop off, but it's very much a tasty way to start off the game.
Okay.
Ferocious in himself there. I think it's because he had like an open opportunity to literally land the rail.
Stood still and possibly even AFK. How did I miss that?
Big spin. Big tilt spin.
It's alright, he's had a great start. Doesn't have anything to feel bad about. What is Sib doing?
Sib's playing it incredibly slow and just waiting for the fight to come towards him rather than taking the fight to Effortless, it seems.
What? No. This is not how you do it. This is not how you QPL Sib. You're at the rail, you just walk into connector with the rail out when you know that Effortless is beside you.
Yikes.
So,
about that third map.
Indeed. Well, I'm enjoying watching Effortless, to be fair. Effortless looks looking great.
Yeah, he has definitely been excelling at this point. Already a 6-0 lead. 2 minutes into the game, just doing absolute damage when it comes down to his aiming capabilities. Sib exposed once again, attempting to go for the armor pickup. Constantly shattered there by the LG, stabbing him in the back until he falls to pieces.
I think Sib's just having a bit of a sulk at the moment. I don't know what about. The first frag was pretty brutal to go against because it's like the worst way. If you just had that experience on Molten Falls, and then you essentially just get peeked to death.
Yeah.
And with the machine gun to follow up. Oh, that was gorgeous, Effortless. Wow. Really nice.
That was actually beautiful.
Then you just feel so bad about everything. The rails, man. He's just landing.
I think it's Effortless as well. Like, his actual tracing is really nice, but you can see he plays so well in his own environment. Oh, the prediction as well is beautiful, just playing off the back of the audio cues. His aim has actually been really, really crisp today. Like,
oh yeah,
just absolutely on the ball.
I mean, I gotta say, Sib has been a sort of a sitting duck sometimes because he's not he's on his own path, but it's very easy to aim when you know someone's going from A to B. He hasn't really been in the fights dodging that much. Okay, at the beginning of Molten and for all of Awoken, it was very different. But we've seen Effortless just go on a blast, and he's going to take full advantage of this. If someone's just presenting yourself with opportunities, why would you not? Oh, sad face.
That was sick though. Like the intro into that fight was really beautiful from Effortless. Like the shots that he's actually landing in terms of just how snappy his aim has been. he's been looking filthy. Like, it's ridiculous.
Let's get himself some more line gun ammunition when he can be bothered. When Sib doesn't present himself for a second. Oh, that rocket was actually kind of cool.
Already 11-0, and he's looking to try and add even more to that as he is just trailblazing ahead. That could be the kill. Oh, again, look at the tracing. It's just so nice.
Yeah, Effortless, again, like in Molten, he really can't keep his foot off the gas pedal. His control still has to be perfect. I want him to continue sustaining control for the entire map. You know, consider this a test for himself, if anything. Get as many frags as possible. This is where you just assert your dominance over a player. If they're playing like this, you just go absolutely ham. You go for the 30+ at the moment. I mean, I think it's a shame that we have to see Sib playing like this, but you know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes something's going on inside the mind of a player, and it's just, you know, you can't explain it. It's just happening.
It's an enigma what goes on, you know. That's just how it works sometimes. You're never quite sure what you're going to get given on any given day.
Yeah, the Enigma's not playing today though. He's had a bye week. That's Saiga. Just in case anyone was wondering. There was a reason for me to say that.
Get it in there. Yeah, this is really quite rough though. It's weird as well because Sib is actually one of those players that, like, from what we had seen in the past, it felt like he had so much to prove and so much to give.
He was doing so great as well. I mean, there was so many positive things to look at his play, but this is the least positive thing I think I've seen from him.
Yeah, it's all just been taken away from him all so easily at this point from Effortless.
He's taken it away from himself, I'll be honest. Effortless has been only 50% of the story in this. Combined, Effortless and Sib beat Sib, I think.
They've come together.
Yeah.
Kind of like Voltron. Sib and Effortless are both one of the small little lion robots, you know. They've linked up, and now they're the bigger lion robot.
So it's the bigger Effortless.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I understanding this right?
Why not?
Let's just go with sure.
Oh, yeah, Sib still struggling to put up anything on the board right now. The lightning gun just straight to the face as he gets hit with the violent vaults. And Effortless is really just on cruise control.
I'm thinking this might be the highest score we're going to get in the entire QPR at the moment. I think Garpy's record's going to be broken. Garpy's record was 31, I want to say.
Right.
Versus Sparty. Ooh.
I mean, if he carries on with his current average, then yeah, probably. Like,
because he hit 15 at 4 minutes 50?
Yeah, I think so.
Has Sib had an item yet? Actually, I'm really curious. Can a production at all, I mean, this must be a super cheeky request, can they just, like, hold tab? I'm just really curious for a moment, just on the items. I don't know if we're able to get it. Okay, sweet. Yes, 0 major items.
Oh, no.
That is impressive. That is impressive, because you normally start by default with one, or at least a route to one, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we see lots of instances where, you know, some champions won't necessarily get it, but you're also playing Athena. Out of any champion out there, Athena's the one who's quite likely to even double major item.
You know what's crazy? Is it's kind of like being on Safari. You know, and we're in like
production, by the way.
The car up above. We're just traveling along, and Effortless is the lion, and Sib is the pack of gazelle that has just been sprinting and trying to get away.
All of them.
Yeah, he is all of the gazelles at once. But he's trying to get to that open water, and he's like, "I'm really thirsty. I need to go to that water." But Effortless is just, you know, just.
But then he just keels over and feeds himself anyway.
Yeah,
he doesn't even run.
He trips on his own foot and then gets eaten by the lion. Effortless though, he's coming up close to try and beat Garpy's scoreline if he carries on.
I mean, I'm rooting for him, honestly. Because when that happened, Sparty did actually play to like 6 or 7 or so, and then it just went ham sandwiches there, like on himself. I don't know, get the LG. I think he's just trying to help him.
I don't know.
Was he trying to hook? Like, I genuinely.
It wasn't even like he went for the gauntlet. It's just like a bit of banter. It's over. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, no, it's obviously over.
I think Effortless.
Hold on, guys! There's a comeback coming soon.
This could be a game changer.
Also going. He's just going ham, you know. Going ham sandwiches.
Yeah, going ham. So is that like
But you know, you can go ham on yourself at the same time. So you can just like, it's just sustaining the persevering in whatever your endeavor is.
What else is in this ham sandwich?
All kinds of things.
Is there Parma ham?
Parma ham's good, but no.
If you went Parma ham, is that like going half as hard as going ham? So like it's kind of it's a restricted level of ham. So you don't want to go all in, but you're trying to use some of your
energy.
energy.
That's like being, you know, half cocked. You know, you don't want to do that. Why would you go Parma ham when you could go full ham?
Yeah.
You want to go full gammon, you know?
Ooh.
Like a real...
No, that would be far too meaty. Like, gammon's a whole different caliber. He's taken a little bit of a second there to do his rest exercises in between the...
Come on, get the 30 Effortless, come on!
This is where it comes down to an actual chase. Sib now wanting to deny the 30.
I think that's what Sib's trying to do. I think he's feeding as many, and then he just wants to like just be really annoying now and not give up the frags.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
or maybe not.
Oh, no.
There we go. We're on the 30. Can he get further, though? I think he's got to get 32 or 33 to take the record himself. Come on, Effortless.
This is it. The last 20 seconds.
I don't think you understand how important this is, Effortless. All right, we need more. That might have... Is it either tied it up?
He might have broken the record, but you got to go for more at this point. 10 seconds.
We don't want items. We want kills.
Oh.
He's going to find him. Yes. Oh.
Massive pog. Incredible. All right.
GG. I
GG's.
guess.
All right, yeah. Capital GG's from Sib, so you know he had a good time.
Yes. And that's when you're being extra polite.
Yeah. Good game.
He's also known for never saying GG at the end of a ranked game.
Really?
Yeah. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, even?
Roof.
Yeah.
Is that rough? There you go.
Yeah,
I made it work.
I made
it work. We did it.
You are, bonding right now with the American audience.
Yeah. All right, lads. Well, that was interesting.
I mean, it's a good word.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the one I'd use.
Break it down for me, Zoo.
Sib sucked really hard, hated himself, and sucked even harder. And Effortless was just good. Effortless was solid. I respect what Effortless did. Don't really respect what Sib did. Step it up, Sib.
It's
you can do better than that. We know you can do better than that.
Because that's the thing. Sib actually looks really sick in what we've seen in the previous weeks. For me, I feel like he was a player that had so much to prove. Like, movement-wise and mechanically, he's so sound at the game, which is why it's actually quite exciting to watch him. It just didn't come out tonight, and I feel like it got worse, obviously, the longer the day went on for him, and he wasn't there. This wasn't the man we normally see.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna give something, though, that maybe will paint a bit more of a picture in this. I think Sib enjoys being the villain. He's been the villain before.
Right.
And I think I think there's something about that maybe he's not been villain enough recently.
Right.
Because he's actually been playing really well. People have really been wanting to support him more and more because he's been doing so great. He's like, hang on, I need to have a moment where I just return to villain status.
This is him basically being the heel, trying to like get all the eyes on him and all the flack on him. So then when he comes back, people are like, oh.
There could be a greater plan around, you know?
Maybe.
Like, don't rule it out. What frags should we put on this replay? We've got 32 of them to choose from.
I'm now curious though, did Effortless break the record?
I'm pretty sure he did, because I think it was like 31-1 that Garby had. I'm sure some great people in chat are going to be able to say. It was either 31 or 32 that Garby had, but I'm pretty sure that Effortless did beat it.
Right.
And that's the important thing that we can take away from this, because we took literally nothing else away from this.
We learned about ham sandwiches.
We learned about ham sandwiches.
I'm sure there was some other interesting conversations throughout that one.
I had fun, though. I did have fun.
Hey, well, look, here's the thing about Quake Pro League. It's the friends that you make along the way that are the real prize. You know, that's what matters.
Well, Sib's making friends with Effortless, who's like, cheers for the points. I appreciate that.
Apparently so. As he'll be walking away a very, very happy man as he's just dominated on that one, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I mean, we like to sort of build a sort of analysis and say, okay, well, what happened? What was the pivotal moment where things went wrong? Pivotal moment where things went wrong was kind of like halfway or early parts of map 2, and then there's literally nothing else to say.
No, it was definitely quite rough for them. It was just over in a heartbeat, really. It seemed like Sib was a bit down on himself today. Hopefully he can pick himself back up, because, hearts in the chat for Sib. He's someone that normally can actually display an awful lot, but it wasn't there. I don't know what that was, but it was certainly something. Any closing words on that one?
No. I got nothing.
No. Right, well,
Let's go.
we're going to take a minute to compose ourselves. We're going to get away from this. Zoot needs some moments to reset himself. Compose yourself as we'll be back with more Quake action after the break.